Marketing refers to all those activities which are being adopted by the company to promote its products and services to the selected market. The main purpose of marketing is to achieve a customer attention to the company products and services and build a relationship for a long-term period. It also involves the various activities like the product development, product distribution, advertisement, sales promotion, or selling, and the delivery of the selected products and services to the end user or ultimate consumer. That is exactly called marketing. Now there are various definitions which has been given by the various philosophers, authors. That's one of the even the associations as well. So according to the American Marketing Association or the board of directors define the term marketing, which is an activity or a set of institutions and processes to create, communicate, deliver, exchange the offerings or products or services that have value for the customers, clients, partners, or as a whole society at large. According to the Philip Kotler, he also defined a marketing as a science and arts to explore, create, deliver the value to satisfy the needs of the selected market or the target market at a profit margin. Next is marketing is the messages and the actions that cause the messages or the actions. According to the J. Beer, the president of the convents and the convent author with the Ember Nesland of the Now Revolution. So it's also defined that it is the messages that need to be communicated or to achieve the customer's attention, or you can say a sort of messages or the actions so that to build up a strong relationship with the existing customers. Let's have a follow-up examples about the marketing. Let's talk about the traditional marketing. We can have an examples of billboards, television and radio commercial, print advertisements, telemarketing, and direct mail. When we talk about the billboards, it consists of the large outdoor advertisement that are often placed in a high traffic areas. If you see in the Connaught Place, there are a huge large billboards has been there, and a lot plenty of companies or organization and its product has been advertised publicly. Next is television and radio commercial. We can also talk about here the traditional broadcast advertising. The next one is the print advertisements. Here we can also talk about the advertisements or the ads placed in the newspapers, magazines, and the direct mail flyers. Next one is the telemarketing. It is a way of contacting the potential customers by telephonic or by phone or by emails, etc. The next one is the direct mail. It's all about sending the physical marketing materials like brochures, postcards to any specific addresses or the selected addresses so that the consumers or the customers are more aware about the company's new products and services as well. We can also have a campaign examples like Coca-Cola Share a Coke, a campaign that put a popular names on the soda bottles to encourage the personalization and sharing more and more to the new and the existing customers. Next is Dove Real Beauty. This is a campaign that has challenged a traditional beauty standards and also used to make up or to formulate a diverse models in its advertising. Next is Nike Just Do It, a long running campaign which is mainly focused on the empowerment of the determination and the devotion. Next is Spotify Wrapped. It is an annual campaign that provides the users with the personalized data about their listening habits, which they can also share on the social media as well. Let's talk about the next concept, that how you distinguish between the needs, wants and demand. When we talk about the needs, need is a basic survival of you can say of an individual, of any human beings. We can also talk about the need is food, shelter and water, air, etc. And that is actually called need. But when we talk about the want is based on the individual personality or the culture, which always brings them a sort of convenience to its personality or to its culture as well, and that is exactly called want. So want is totally based on an individual personality and culture, which gives them more convenience, that what sort of books, what sort of mobile phones they actually wanted, so that so that their needs could be satisfied, but it could mean to the convenience. Next is the demand. Demand is it's all about the customer desire, which is backed by the, you can say, their buying power, that whether their ability to pay for that particular product or service or not. For example, we can talk about the cars, we can talk about the luxuries, handy bag, etc. That is exactly called demand. So demand is all about the customer's desires, whether they have an ability to pay for a particular product or not. That is exactly called demand. Let's have a real life examples of need, want and demand, because after all it is very important to explain these concepts with the help of the examples as well. So the need, the basic requirement, is the ability to efficiently travel from home to work. So it's all about when you're going to an office, or your need is to book a cab, so immediately you book a cab and reached from work to home. That is exactly called need. Want, it's a particular want and it's your desire which makes you more comfortable, which gives you more convenient. Like for example, we can also talk about the luxury cars, we can also talk about the, you can say, automatic battery cars, which are advanced safety features. That exactly, this is your wants, which gives you more convenient or more convenience to you. Next is demand, the preference for the actual need for a new electric stove that fits one person budget, understanding the needs and lifestyle choices. When you go to a jewelry shop, it totally they will ask you the preferences of the diamonds, of the gold, and accordingly, if you have an ability to pay that particular products for the diamonds and for the gold, that is exactly, and it's totally based on your lifestyles and your choices. That is exactly called demand. Now we can come up to the core concepts in marketing. Here I have already explained the three main core concepts, that is needs, wants and demands. So the rest of the concepts we can also focus in this lecture. The fourth one is the products, utility, cost, satisfaction, exchange, transaction and transfer. What is the exact relationship and the network, and the last one is the marketing, marketer and prospect. So let's have an overview of these terms, because these terms are equally important, which is used in the marketing. What are the products? So products are, we can term as a tangible items or an intangible services which always fulfill the customer's needs and requirements. So that these are the core effects, or you can say, or the core concepts of the marketing efforts. So in order to understand the product, a particular consumers need to look up the features, the benefits, the unique selling propositions of the products, which is very important or significant for marketing success. Next one is the utility. Utility represents the value, that how much the value the customers achieve from a product or the service. It can be classified into four types, like four physical, like form, that is a physical characteristics; time, that is the availability when needed; place, that is the availability where needed; and the possession, that is a case of ownership. So that ultimately it's a value for from a customer that he can achieve from any particular product or services. Next one is the cost. Cost refers to a monetary and a non-monetary sacrifices which made to achieve or to acquire a particular product and services, and this can include purchase price, or any time, or the any time spent on that particular for deciding or prepare for deciding the cost, or any efforts that could be expended. So effective marketing strategies is always an aim to maximize the utility with a minimum cost. Next one is the satisfaction. Satisfaction refers a level of contentment or the pleasure a particular customer experiences after using a particular product or service. So satisfied customers are more likely to purchase more and more product and become loyal to that particular product or to that particular brand after repeating in using that product, and of course it increases the you can see the sales of the business. Next one is exchange. Exchange is also an act of obtaining a desired product or service we can offering someone about of a value in return. Next is transaction. It's all about the actual process of exchanging the products or services for a monetary benefit, or for for money or something else which actually measured in value. Next one is transfer. Transfer is also refers a transfer of ownership or the rights related to a product or service from the seller to buyer, and that's what a key element of any transaction. Next one is the relationship marketing. It's mainly focused to build up and maintain the long-term relationship with the customers. It also recognizes that the repeat customer will prefer the same product more and more, and that would create a company revenue when the new ones also build up a strong relationship with the particular brand. Next one is the networks. Networks also represent the connections between the individuals, the organizations, and the entities within the business environment. And strong network means valuable resources, information, and opportunities that will be available in every way. The next is market. So market is a group of the potential buyers who share the common needs or wants to have an ability to, or the willingness to make the purchases. Next is marketing. So marketing is a process of planning, executing, and managing the activities that could create, deliver, communicate, and exchange the value so that the customer needs and wants will be satisfied. Next one is the marketer. Marketer refers the entity, or in terms of, we can also talk about the individual and organization who are responsible to create, promote, and selling the products and services. And the last one is prospect. Prospect refers a potential customers who have shown interest in a particular product and services but not yet made a purchase, and that's kind of potential customer are actually called a prospect, who are interested in a particular product and services but yet has not made any purchases in the market, and that's called prospect. The next important concept in the marketing, that's called the marketing mix. So according to the Philip Kotler, he defined the marketing mix are the set of marketing tools that a firm used to pursue its marketing objectives in the target market. So these are the tools which are used by the company to you can say achieve the marketing objectives in the selected or the target market. But according to the Williams Jane Stanton, he defined the marketing mix as a term used to describe the combination of four inputs which constitute the core values of a company marketing system, and that would be the product, price, structure, promotional activities, and the distribution system. And these four elements are actually called the main components of the marketing mix. So this is a diagrammatic representation that these are the four main components of the marketing mix. That would be product, price, place, and promotion. So product includes the, you can say, the particular branding. We can talk about the packaging, the utility, and the product mix. But when we talk about the pricing, we can always talk about that what are the factors which are needed to determine the price. The next one is of place. We can talk about here the channel of distribution, the channel levels. So it could be direct or it could be indirect, and what would be the components of the physical distribution of the products and services. The next one is the promotion. We can always talk about that what sort of promotional activities are to be used to promote a particular product. It could be the advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, or the public relations. So let's have an overview of these four main elements or components of the marketing mix. So let's have a product. So the first or the core element of the marketing mix is product, and it refers to a tangible or a intangible items which are offered by the organization to the customer so that their needs and wants could be satisfied. Let's take an example. It's ITC is a fast moving consumer goods company, and it's dealing with the different varieties of the food products, and that food products were purchased by the potential customers or existing customers or the new customers, so that their wants and needs will be satisfied, because that products are being prepared and launched in the market according to the customer needs, and that is the ultimate aim of the ITC company. So there are three main components of the product mix. The first one is branding, second one is packaging, and the third one is labeling. So when we talk about the branding is all about to deciding whether the product of the firm will be marketed under a generic name or any brand name, etc., because that brand name would be known to the customers mind or in knowledge, and accordingly they could buy a particular product. Let's talk about the soft drink is a generic name of you can say, and the Coca-Cola is a brand name. So it is very important that how a particular company will distinguish a generic name and the brand name. So here the soft drink is a very broad name, and under this brand name is a component of that generic name, which is called a Coca-Cola, and the soft drink is a generic name of that particular brand product, that's called Coca-Cola. The next one is the packaging. Packaging is all about the basic activity of every organization, that how they would put a set of activities or the tasks related to the designing or the production of an appropriate container, wrapper, bag, box of any product. So it's all about it how our organization package a product using the following tasks in case of the production or designing, whether you use the container or a scrapper, bag, box of any product. Next one is the labeling. It refers to putting an identification marks on the package of a product, because label is an identification of any particular product of that particular company. So the information on the in the case of the labeling, all the information is provided on the label of the product, which includes the name of the product, price, date of the manufacturing, date of the expiry, integrants, or any warnings to use or weight, etc. If you look up the you can say the labeling of a Amul milk or a dairy milk or the organic in any organic milk product, the particular labeling is also being mentioned of that particular milk product, which and the labeling is also mentioned there, where all the information has been mentioned about the expiry, the use date, and the date of manufacturing, the price, any warning, what would be the integrants involved, and what would be the date of expiry. So which is very important for any consumable products. It could be paneer, it could be custard powder, or anything. The next component is the price. So price is a value of a particular product and service that a particular buyer willing to pay to the seller. So a customer is a very sensitive about the price of a product, because it's after all they have to decide to buy a product which is very conveniently for the consumer, that whether it could be willing or able to pay that price for that product or not. So it is a very crucial element of the marketing mix as well. So a slight shift by the organization in the price of the product can shift the customers, you can say, towards the competitor's product. So these decisions related to the price, it's totally depend upon the demand of a commodity, the prices of the competitors, and etc. So this is something one of the main component which could divert our customers into a competitive products, and accordingly the decisions related to the product has to be considered depending upon the demand of a product and the prices of the competitors, because after all the organization has to earn the profit as compared to the competitors' strategies. Next one is the place and the physical distribution. So place is also an important element of the marketing mix, and it is also refers a process of a transferring of goods from the place of production to the place of consumption. So in other words, we can also talk about a place mix. So place mix is also an important decision, and it's related to the physical distribution, that how the organization would distribute their goods and services to the ultimate consumer, and the set of activities have to be considered in case of the physical distribution, such as order processing, transportation, warehousing, and inventory. And the last component of the marketing mix is promotion. So the last element of the marketing mix is promotion, which includes all those activities undertaken by the marketer, that how it would communicate such products and services to the ultimate customers, and distribution, and using a distribution channels so that they can promote that product to the customers. So some of the important decisions have been considered in this particular element is selecting a media to advertise the product, selecting the promotional techniques, public relation, etc. So the first component of the promotion is advertising. So it is a paid form of promotional activity, and any companies who wants to promote their product, who wants to advertise their product, they have to pay it for such advertisement for its own product. And it always helps the organization in connecting with the customers indirectly. So few features of advertising are reach, choice, legitimacy, expressiveness, economy, enhance the customer satisfaction. The next one is the sales promotion. Sales promotion is also a short-term use of incentives or any promotional activities of the organization so that they can stimulate the customer in buying the product. And few sales promotion techniques used by the organizations are refunds, discounts, rebates, gifts, coupons, any premiums, any samples, any contest, or any usable benefits, etc. So through this particular promotional techniques, a particular organization can easily you can say convince the consumer to buy the product and in a short period, and that's called sales promotion. The next concept or the next component is personal selling. Personal selling means selling a product personally to the consumer. So it also includes or consists face-to-face communication or interaction, you can say with the customer or with the buyer in case with the main motive of sale. Some of the basic features of personal selling are the better response, personal interaction or strong relationship, etc. Next one is the public relation. Public relation means maintaining the public relations with the public, or by doing so, the organization can create a you can say a goodwill. So according to the Chartered Institute of Public Relations is a strategic management function which adds value to the organization to that how it would manage its reputation in publicly or on a public place, and that's called public relation. Now the next important section is developing a marketing mix. The first one is identify your target customer. So it is very important. The first step is to identify what sort of customers you need to identify and need to specify that what sort of needs and preferences could be you can say exist, and that could be identified through a accurate or a proper market research. The next one is the next stage is develop a product. So once the market research gets over, so the second stage is a particular researcher or any analyst can develop a product that directly address the customer's needs and wants, which includes or considering the features, design, quality or price, etc. Then the next is to set up an appropriate price. So once a particular you can say analyst and researcher develop a product, or when the second stage gets over, then the next step is to set up a appropriate or an affordable price that reflects the product's perceived value, covers the production cost and remains competitive in the market. Next is choose efficient distribution channels. So once the price has been set up, so the next stage is to select an appropriate distribution channel that could refer a place to ensure the product is available to the target audience at the right time and place. The next stage is to create and execute a promotional plan. So once the place has been decided, the next step is to plan or to create or execute the promotional activities of a product, and select the appropriate channels like advertising, social media, public relations, etc. The next and the last stage of developing the marketing mix is continuously review and adjust. So it is when any concern or issue could occurs through by taking up the feedback of the customers or the potential customers, then accordingly the particular analyst and researcher can change the trends to maintain the effectiveness of the marketing success. So that exactly the last stage, that it is very important to continuous review and adjust each element of the marketing mix, but it totally based on the market feedback or the feedback of the customers, and accordingly the changes could occur. Now we can talk about the real world examples of the marketing mix. Here we can talk about the Apple. So the one of the what would be the marketing mix of the Apple product. So we can talk about, when we talk about the first marketing mix, that's called the product mix. Here we classified into two main parts or the section. That's one is innovation and design and integrated services, because after all we are talking about the product mix which includes the feature, design and quality. And in the example we have to explain that what the sort of innovation and designs of Apple products known for, and what are their integrated services. So that's the exact you can see the meaning of that particular product mix. So the first one is innovation and design. Apple products are known for their innovation, their sleek design, user-friendly interface, and setting them apart from its competitors. Next is integrated services. The product offers extend beyond the hardware to include a suite of services like Apple Music, iCloud, and Apple TV Plus, which adds the value of their devices. The next is price. So prices also include the what would be the value, the whether the profit has been there to the app for the Apple products or not. So the premium pricing strategy, where the Apple generally uses a premium pricing strategy for its new products, which reflect their perceived higher quality and advanced features. Value and profitability. Prices are set to be profitable while also perceived as valuable by the customers. The next one is place. We can also talk about there are retail stores in all over the world. Online and third party retails is also available. So retail stores, Apple has its own physical retail stores to provide a complete brand experience from sales to support. But in the online and third party retail, the company also sells products through its website and authorized third party retailers like electronic stores to reach a wider audience. And you can see in India there are so many third party retails where you can get the services of Apple products directly. And the last one is promotion. Here we can talk about the promotional activities. What would be the promotional technique? What sort of you can say public relations activities could be used. So here we can talk about under promotion is advertising focus. Promotions often focus on the unique design, innovation, user benefits of their product, which is unique, which is itself a uniqueness from the competitors, and of course it creates an aspirational brand value. The next one is the targeted channels. Apple also uses a variety of channels for promotion. It could be an online advertising, television, social media, in-store display, so that they can reach to the different section of the customer base. And the next section is 4A's framework in relation to the 4P's of marketing mix. So the 4A's framework, that's called acceptability, affordability, accessibility, and awareness. It is a customer generic alternative or a solution to the traditional 4P's like product, price, place, and promotion. So while the 4P's are the company focused and 4A's are the customer focused, which shifts the perspective from the company action to the customer values and needs so that it can create the values for both customer and customers. For example, acceptability relates to the customer satisfaction with the product while the product addresses its features. So simultaneously the work goes on, or you can say on both perspectives. So this is a distinguish between the 4P's and the 4A's. So when we talk about the company centric, which is a 4P's, so it focuses on creating the product and service with the specific features and functions. But when we talk about the acceptability, which is a customer focused, it mainly focuses whether the product meets the customer needs and expectations or not. But the next P is price, it's all about the cost of the product or refers to the cost of the product. But then the next 4A, that's called the affordability, it always exists if the customer can and is willing to pay the product, because after all, when it is important for the organization to set an appropriate price. So it could be whether that price could be affordable or not, whether the customer is willing to pay for that product or not. That is called the affordability, the second A of the mainly focus on the customers. The next P, that is a company centric 4P's under that is place. It determines how and where the product will be distributed. But in case of the third A, that is accessibility, is mainly focused that how easy and convenient for the customer to obtain the product. The last P is promotion. It's all about the advertising and the set of promotional activities is to be used that benefits to the customer. But when we talk about the last A, that's called awareness, that the awareness could be through the promotion, and it's all about the promotion of the new products and services and its associated benefits to the customer. And that's called the 4P's, which is called a marketing mix, which is mainly focused on the cost of the companies, but the 4A's, which is mainly focused of the customer. So 4A's are the modern perspective is shifting from modern to the tradition to the, you can say, traditional methods of the marketing. So this is how we can use the 4A's framework in relation to the 4P's of marketing mix. Now we can come up to the next important concept that called the marketing strategy. So marketing strategy is all about the long-term plan for the business to reach the prospective or the potential customers and turn them into a buyers by promoting a valuable product or service. For example, Apple. It also consists to define a target market, understand the customer needs and wants, and accordingly develop a plan to communicate a unique value proposition, we can also call USP, to gain a competitive advantage in the market. So a good strategy is always guides all marketing efforts from branding to campaigns, and its ultimate goal is to increase the sales and achieve the business objectives. What are the key components of the marketing strategy? The first one is the value proposition. It refers that what makes your product and service unique and valuable to the customer. Target market and audience, it refers to identify who your ideal customer is, what would be their demographics to study, and what they exactly want or need. The next one is the competitive analysis, understanding the competition to find out your competitive advantage in the market. Next one is the brand messaging, the core message that ultimately conveys your brand identity and the value proposition to the customers. Next is goals and objectives, the specific measurable results that a particular organization aims to achieve, like to increase the brand awareness or sales. The next is marketing channels, the specific platform and methods you will use to reach your audience, like social media, Facebook, email, advertising, or various modes of social media could be used to channelize your product. Budget, that how will you allocate your financial resources to launch a new product, or need to decide before you launch a product in the selected market or the target market. Marketing strategy process. The first one is analysis and goal setting. It is important to understand what would be the current market trends, what are their competitors, and how to identify the potential customers, what sort of opportunities and challenges would be available. The next is, it is also important to define the company mission, vision, and specific measurable marketing objectives, that what would be the marketing objectives in order to achieve, and accordingly they could formulate the overall business strategies to achieve those objectives. And the next is develop the customer profiles and the unique value proposition as well. The next stage, the next process is the strategy and planning. So once the analyze part is finished, it's over, then the next stage would come up to develop a customer driven marketing strategy based on the analysis. So create a comprehensive marketing plan, outline what sort of approaches would be used for the 4Ps, and then determine the most effective marketing channel and methods to reach the target audience, and then set up a good you can say appropriate budget for all the marketing activities. The third stage is implementation. It execute the marketing plan and put the chosen strategies into an action. Then accordingly coordinate the efforts across the different teams and departments. And the last process is evaluation and refinement. So just track the processes and measure the results against the set goals. Then analyze what worked and what didn't. Then revise and refine the strategies and tactics as needed to improve the future performance and maintain a competitive environment. The next is scope of marketing. So it always used for the marketing research and analysis. It helps to gather and analyze the data about the customer behavior, market trends, and competitors' strategies, so that they can come up or prepare a meaningful decision. Next is product planning and development. It refers to design and develop the products and services through an innovative ideas, through an customers experiences, place, information, or people, and of course provide a unique value to them. Next is pricing strategy, is to determine the appropriate price point that balance the profitability and the customer's perceived value, whether they could able willingness to pay for that product or not, which includes the production cost and the competitors' pricing. Next is distribution management. It ensures the product is available at the right place and the right time through effective supply chain management, warehousing, transportation, and how it would select the distribution channel. It could be the physical stores, e-commerce platform, etc. Next is promotion and communication. It refers to communicate the product benefits to the target audience through various channels. It could be the direct, it could be indirect. So it could be through advertising, personal relations, social media, content marketing, and personal selling. Next is the sales and customer relationship management. So it refers to convert the potential customer or prospect into an actual buyer and build up a long-term relationship with the brand of the company. Next is brand building. It refers to develop and maintain a strong, consistent brand image and identify to differentiate the offering in the crowded market and the customer loyalty. Next is the data analysis and performance evaluation. It refers to a continuous track of the performance of the marketing campaigns and activities used by the organization and accordingly refine if any concern occurs, then accordingly refine the future strategies and prove that return on investment would come up. Some common misconceptions about marketing. The first is marketing is just an advertising and selling, but the reality is the advertising is one of the component of promotion, which is just a one part of the broader marketing mix, because marketing mix is all about the 7 P's rather than 4 P's, such product, price, place, promotion, people, process, and the physical evidence. Next misconception is that great products do not need to be marketed, they sell themselves. But the reality is the best product needs the best marketing to create awareness, build trust, position against its competitors. The next misconception is marketing is easy and anyone can do it, but the exact reality is the marketing is a multidisciplinary field that blends in arts and science. It requires the creativity, innovation, analysis, psychology, technical skills like SEO, web development, website designing, etc. The next misconception is the marketing is too expensive for small business, but the reality is the marketing do not require a massive or a large budget for small businesses. Many cost-effective strategies are also come up like the organic content, SEO, social media marketing, which allow the small businesses to compete and thrive its own business. Next is marketing yield instant results, but the reality is some tactics like paid ads can provide the quicker results, build brand awareness, reputation, customer trust, and loyalty. That could be possible through the long-term investment. So there are some strategies like SEO and content marketer can take months to a year to show a significant gains. More content and followers equals more success, but the reality is the quality and the relevance refers the quality. A small, highly engaged and target audience is far more valuable for conversion and return on investment rather than a large or passive and the follower count. The next misconception is the marketing to existing customer is unnecessary, but the reality is the customer retention and loyalty are the foundation of a long-term relationship with that particular business, and marketing to existing customers through personalized communication, support, and loyalty program is actually more crucial for repeat business, upselling, and cross-selling in itself. The next important concept is marketing environment. What is marketing environment? Marketing environment is an entire set of events, circumstances, objects that have an impact on its marketing practices of the organization. There are various factors which influence the marketing practices of the organization, like you can see that direct, and it's have a direct impact on the organization marketing operations and decision making ability. Let's take an example. A car tire manufacturer's marketing environment can consist of external factors like the import and export law, tax system, technological changes, and the internal environment like competitors, marketers, intermediaries, suppliers, and company itself. So there are various environmental factors like internal and external. So internal factors which also influence the car tire manufacturing marketing environment, whereas the external too. So that is called the marketing environment. So this is a diagrammatic representation which classified into two types of environment, micro environment and macro environment. So micro environment is all about the intermediaries, public, customer, company, competitors, suppliers. But in case of the macroeconomic, we have to think as a whole. You can say marketing, like we can talk about in this economic, social and culture, natural, technological, demographic and political, and that's called external factors. When we talk about micro, we talk about internal factors, and that would be just have an overview of all of these terms. Demographic environment, here we are talking about the macro environment. So demographic environment is the study of the human population in terms of size, density, location, age, gender. Is all about study of a demographic variables. So marketers use this demographic data to segment the market, to target the specific customer groups based on their gender, age, geography, statistics, etc. The next one is the economic environment. It refers the factors that influence the consumer buying power and its spending habits. So, such as the inflation, interest rates, economic growth, government fiscal policy, etc. For example, during a recession, consumers may cut back on non-essential items, prominenting the companies to adjust the pricing and offer a value-based products. The next is social cultural environment. So the factors including like value, tradition, languages, customs, beliefs, social systems that also influence the consumer behavior. For example, McDonald's in India, which removed the beef products and introduced the local options like Mac Aloo Tikki to cater to the population, religious and the cultural preferences. Next is the natural environment. It also includes the factors such as climate, weather, natural resources, renewable and the non-renewable, and the growing concern over the environmental issues like climate change and pollution. So it also affects the availability and the cost of resources, which ultimately influences the production of products and services. So the marketers must consider the consumer and legal pressures related to how it sustain the environmental impact on us. The next is technological environment. So the impact of technological advancement like automation, internet, mobile technology and the new production method. The marketers should understand the technological changes, that how the products is developed, produced and marketed. So accordingly, in today's scenario, the rise of e-commerce platform, digital marketing activities has been adopted by the various organizations to shift their strategies, increase the digital spending more and unnecessary, that during the COVID-19 it turned into a revenue losses. Next is political and legal environment. the influence of the government policies, laws, and regulation, which definitely impact on the wide range of marketing activities. So the marketers should understand the laws regarding the product safety, advertising, fair trade, and competition. The next type of marketing environment called a micro marketing environment. It includes the immediate controllable factors like customers, suppliers, and competitors affecting a company daily operations. The key factors which influence the marketing environment could be company, suppliers, intermediaries, competitors, customers, publics, and what would be their impact. So company could refers to other departments, any production facilities, any internal resources. Same suppliers, it provides the raw materials, component services. Same in case of the intermediaries, it refers to a distributors, retailers, marketing of services, competitors, other business in the same market, customers, the target audience and their needs, public, it refers to a local communities, etc., or any other interested groups, and it directly impact the daily operations of the business, and it can be responded with the quick and tactical changes wherever needed. And that's called the micro marketing environment. The new Indian consumers in the vibrant marketing environment. So it's in today era, in the modern era, the new Indian consumer is digitally adopted and increasingly values the convenience, sustainability, and ethical practices, and it's driving a shift in market from just a price consciousness to a more holistic view of a brand value. This consumer is navigating a vibrant and competitive environment which characterized with plenty of factors. It could be you can say digital technology, or through the use of the digital technology among the middle class. Marketing strategy must now integrate an online or offline experiences, and it's just through the rising demand for the premium or a health centric product or the organic product, and in this way it build up a trust through the transparent and ethical practices. So this is a key characteristics of the new Indian consumer, that is the digital natives. Over the 1 billion smartphones users by 2026 will enable a digital commerce and payments. Value driven, it's while a price sensitive, you can see consumers are now placing a greater focus and on the ethical practices, sustainability, with many willingness to pay a premium price for a eco-friendly products. Aspiration and lifestyle, a growing middle and upper income class has a taste for the premium, health centric or quality products only, and that it's through their changing lifestyle. It's nuanced preferences. Consumers are the complex mix of the urban and rural, so the younger demographic or the future demographic shifts towards the older semi-urban population and requiring the brand so that they can understand the diverse and the regional preferences of the customers. What is the marketing research? So it's a structured and the objective based research which refers or plenty of information so that a particular researcher can able to solve a specific marketing problem so that they can come up to a meaningful business decision or a marketing decision. It refers tools of both qualitative and quantitative data about their target audiences, and in order to study their preferences, their spending habits, and the competitive strategy. through the marketing research, the researcher or the market analyst can gather data and then analyze that data to identify the patterns and trends. And whatever the findings would come up, it could be used to create an actionable insight for the management purposes. Marketing research also provides a data driven foundation for decisions related to the entire marketing mix, including the product development, pricing, promotion, and distribution. That's called the 4 P's of the marketing mix. So, marketing research is totally based on the 4 P's, where a particular marketer or the researcher can easily, you can say, drive the data and come up to a meaningful decisions related to the entire 4 and 7 P's of the marketing mix. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening this lecture. I will come up to a more and more interesting, relevant, and important topics in the upcoming sessions. Till time, thank you and namaste to all.